Alright, anyways. Hello everybody, welcome to the 16th episode of the Dark Mushroom Media livecast. The livecast that's known for promptness and always being on time and broadcasting quality content across the internet. As always, I have with me Tim over here on the left.
Hello.
And we've got a new face down at the bottom.
Fresh face, Palmer.
Fresh face.
So clean.
Because we lost Jose tonight. He had some other stuff he had to do, so
He's running errands in Baltimore.
Yeah, he got trapped up there.
Place.
Anyways, I'd like to introduce you guys to Kerbin.
Hello, my name is Kerbin.
Man, he's from Minnesota.
We've actually brought him up many times on the cast.
We have.
I can remember you shooting him in the face and running away.
I thought that you guys always talked about me going to the store and getting milk in a bag.
In a bag?
Yeah.
It's like you live in a foreign country.
I speak English.
You talk about having to put chains on your tires and you get your milk in a bag.
Dude, you buy 2 1-gallon bags for this guy right here. Why is this guy being such a fool? He can't even handle it. He's gonna die.
Anyways.
Just had a stroke.
Cast.
Let's do this, boys.
Yeah, anyways, so yeah, that's Kerbin. We're gonna jump straight into the juiciest topics of the week. We're gonna start off with the mod fiasco, the paid mod fiasco on Steam.
Mm-hmm. This cropped up Thursday?
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Yeah. It was late last week. And it's just been a fucking utter shitstorm ever since.
There's a timeline to this too. The timeline of the shitstorm
proper that's played out.
Yeah, it's awful. It's awful.
Like Gavin being silent at first, and then being like, "Oh, I was, getting surgery and shit," and I hope that he ends up being better and everything. But man, this blew up so fast. Like that dude needs to not have more than 30 seconds where he can't respond to Reddit.
Well, I mean, honestly, he shouldn't treat it like a PR fucking shit. Like honestly, he was there to do damage control. It wasn't anything else.
Oh yeah, that's not a secret either.
I lost so much respect for him. Lord Gaben, praise him and shit no more, dude. I lost a lot of respect for that guy. I don't know that he really. I think he's too far separated from the community that he's set out to, or that he created, inadvertently rather. But he created. I don't know how Steam's. I'm questioning the future. Well, yeah, but I mean,
he wants money, but fucking the ways. Does Valve need any more money at this point? They've kind of dominating the PC gaming market in general, and just the idea of this bringing about. And even if this wasn't just obviously it's been a complete shit show. But even if it went a little bit better, it's not like this is making Valve a lot of money, or it was, because now it's a whole nother fucking thing. But it's just it wasn't successful, so it's. It's just there's so many different angles, and there's so many just shit surfaces of shit, and it's all just fuckboys, and it's a pile of shit. It's just fucking awful.
Mr. Leahy, why don't you tell me more?
I'm fucking pop off my shirt and pop my Randyism on. It'll be great, man.
So while I think that Skyrim, because of how many just hundreds of thousands of mods there were, why that would seem like a great opportunity to start this.
That's the bottom line. Honestly, this would have been a lot more received if they would have picked a new game, that was on the way to coming out and said, "Hey, we're gonna make this a feature and it's gonna promote these kinds of mods, and we hope that it'll boost the community." I guarantee
it's not one of the most iconic modding games.
Yeah, exactly.
Skyrim is still one of the most iconic games when it comes to modern mods. It's fucking.
Yeah. I guarantee you, public reception of this would have been totally different if it wasn't attached to Skyrim. The fact that they did that, and it's mainly just because of the fact that, Tim just said, it's an already established modding community. There are, I don't know, dude. There's a whole set of rules to the chivalry that goes on behind the modding community, dude. They all talk to each other. They all ask each other's permission on whether or not they can use things. They all fucking cite one another all over the Nexus mod forums, and that's a tight knit community that already has existed for a number of years and has successfully thrived without the help of Steam whatsoever. And then Steam all of a sudden is just like, hey, you know, we're gonna jump in here. They walked into the party holding like a shitty fucking 24-pack of Bud Light and saying, here, I've got some fucking middies, boys. Can I be the greatest thing that ever happened to you? Like, that's just
the way they're going at each other. I think it's more akin to like PCP though. Yeah, like they just walk in and gave everyone PCP, and the monitors are at each other's throats and stealing assets. It's just fucked, man. It's
I don't know, man. Like, it's just it's a total shitstorm. And honestly, so I don't know, you know, like, it was one of those things where I really was trying to see both sides of this issue. I really was. And I think I'm a little better at like justifying certain things than like some of you guys are, because you guys get mad about like a lot of stuff, and I can see kind of like why these things are implemented. And honestly, my mentality on it is, as long as it doesn't make something pay to win, it's okay. But with this just pissed me off. Because you're like, honestly, Skyrim and the fact that it has all these mods and that this massive modding community exists is one of the reasons that I would want to purchase that game. You know, like when I first bought it, it was because I expected mods to come out for it. I knew what was going to be coming, because it's existed in every one of Bethesda's other games. And if anything, like, every single game that comes out, that community just gets stronger, you know, and they're developing better and better content. I mean, these people are getting better as they continue developing. So, I don't know. It pissed me off. You're touching something sacred, like. There's no reason for it. There's no reason for it at all, especially when there's something that already exists that makes it as easy as it does to install mods. I mean, Nexus mods. I loved that the owner of Nexus Mods was the top comment in that entire thread, and you could tell he was trying to be, and I'm not really trying to speculate all that much but as to like what he was feeling, but you could tell he was being pretty reserved in his wording of things. Like, he was being polite and everything, and respectful, obviously. I mean, both of them were.
That's the 5,000 word thing that I ended up reading, right?
Yeah.
I remember that. Okay.
Post.
I just wanted to make sure, because like, I bought Skyrim when it went on sale during the summer sale a couple of years ago for $20, specifically just because like you guys already had it and you like showed me all this cool gameplay and stuff, and I was like,
you saw the
I need to invest, 200 hours of my life into that. That seems worth it. You know? Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah. I mean, you know. Anyways, like I was saying, if they would have picked something else to attach this whole idea to, it would have been immensely better received. And I guarantee you, people wouldn't have like taken to the fucking like think about it honestly, because I mean, people are already so used to paying for things like DLC and stuff with new games, that like if they said, all right, hey, here's the community, we're giving the community a chance to make money off this. Like, what they should have done is waited until fucking Half-Life 3 launched and then started doing it with Half-Life 3, but that shit's never gonna come out.
I still think there still would have been just as much fucking outrage. I think it got around quicker because it was Skyrim, and maybe not. I think there would have eventually been just as much outrage. You do have a point with the fact that it's Skyrim. It's one of the most iconic PC games being modded, one of the most popular. But I still think the idea, this whole fucking idea, would have been just as shat on. It just might not have been taken down in a few days. It might have taken like a week or two. Well, but the principle of this thing is what really is pissing a lot of people off.
Right,
not
right.
It's just Skyrim.
I get that. But I really do feel like it would have been better received if it was with a new game and not with Skyrim. I think the fact that it was with Skyrim is part of the reason it got destroyed this quickly.
Oh, there's Jess.
Everybody waved. Everybody waved to Kerbin's wife.
Yeah, my wife is doing my laundry right now.
Hi, Kerbin's wife.
So the world says hello. Nice short shorts.
All right, totally. Just threw me off. Anyways, the other thing that I think, I feel, you know, I do believe that there would have been just as much backlash to the mods and everything, but they could have handled the payment process a little better. I understand that Valve didn't dictate the price; that came from Bethesda. But you need to have, if you're going to implement something like that, you need to have more than a 25% pay cut on the stuff you're creating.
Yeah.
I understand you're using that game's assets, you're using that game's engine, but a lot of these people are developing entirely new scripts and skins and textures that didn't exist previously. Yes, they're importing it into the Skyrim engine, but they're still creating it themselves. So it leads me to another thing. I mean, like, in the future, first off, Steam has come out and said, since all this happened, that they are no longer going to implement it, that they're taking down the idea. But they haven't said they're going to stop playing with this idea. They came out and said, we fucked up in introducing this with Skyrim. We realized that was a mistake. We're sorry. So let's take a second here, guys, to talk about the future of what this could mean. How do you think we're going to see this rear its ugly head again later down the road?
Ideally, a donation button, but it's a very gray area legally, so I don't know if it's simple as that. But I've been reading through a lot of this shit through Reddit threads and whatnot and various subreddits, and the most popular kind of agreed upon thing that I've been reading is a donation button.
Yeah,
but it's in a legal gray area it's got to be kind of finessed a little bit. The percentages have to be a little bit more towards the fucking modder and not so much these companies. I mean, like you said, they're using their assets and all this shit, but they're also creating new shit that helps the longevity of these games.
Absolutely.
They should be getting more than 25% if this thing were to continue, which obviously it probably will. Because
I talked a little bit to the guys from that are in the whole Neebs gaming thing and Grand Theft Auto, and the kind of consensus there is that if the whole donation thing is kind of sketchy, but if you have a $5 one time kind of entry fee, and then all the things that people want to be free can be free, and then you can make a choice beyond there, you have a paywall and you can kind of try to jump around that a little bit. And at the same time, if to recover from this, the only way they're going to be able to do it is get a major developer to get on board with them doing 25 and then 50 to the mod developers.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, you're right. I think everybody's right with what you were saying from the whole Neebs crew, but yeah, I mean, the bottom line is the creators are going to have to get more of a cut. That's just where it's going to come from.
It's absurd the way it is right now.
It is.
Even at that, they're going to be losing money. But you don't do that shit to make money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the people that are really dedicated to it do it to get themselves on the map and get a job from it.
And it's not. It's really it's definitely a feasible way to go about it.
Mm-hmm.
There was the kid who got hired for Bungie for creating that huge Skyrim mod, a new island that had new quests and NPCs and something. Something else I want to bring up. The idea of getting paid for mods is not it's not new. It's just like we've all said, the way that went about this has been fucking terrible. Killing Floor, for instance, which is something we talked about in the last podcast, or the second game anyway. The first game had multiple skin packs that were community made, and I think 90. I don't know if it was 100%, but around 90% of the fucking actual funds that Killing Floor sold these DLC packs as went to the people who created this content. So it's not as if people just forget modding's more of a hobby than a fucking job, and it's going in the direction where it's more people want it to be more of a job and more steady income than a donation button, or the Killing Floor thing I just brought up. It's a very rare thing. It's a very rare instance that happens, but it happened with Killing Floor. It happened with Red Orchestra. A lot of the community made map packs get thrown into the rotation and added to the main update of the game.
Well, I mean, I know I've said this multiple times. I mean, it goes back when you're looking at anything Tripwire does from a business standpoint is always correct.
Yeah, I probably should have picked another company aside from Tripwire, but yeah, they've.
Those guys, they get it right every single time, and it's because they're not a greedy company,
They're a company that pretty much started because of modding. Killing Floor started out as in the mod that turned into a fucking modified mod, and then now it's a modified mod of a modified. It's just, that's the way they started out.
Yeah. I mean, especially when you're looking at the success of something like Killing Floor 2, I mean, the devs came out and said they were not expecting that to sell as much as it did. I don't know. They really only need obviously, they're in the process of still developing the game, so they have to continue being able to generate income to be able to do that. Hi, Jess.
Hey, Jess.
They have to be able to continue to do that. So obviously, they need some sort of revenue to be constantly flowing as of right now. But once the game is released, they can continue to just release content packs and trickle in the flow of money because it doesn't require as much money to keep it up and
Just
running.
don't do it like Payday.
Yeah, Payday.
Poor Kerbin.
Hey, you can rant about that because this guy, Kerbin,
I need
so much fucking Payday.
I need an entire podcast to be able to get everything off of my chest about that. Because it's not that I don't love it and everything, but holy shit, man, I got a couple bones to pick on that.
It's just it's bombarding. It's fucking nonstop. Like, and they do put out decent content updates. Some of the DLC, like some of it's kind of crap, but some of it actually does have a decent amount of content to it, and it's fun. But just the fact that they do fucking 2-3 times a month.
I paid $5 so that I could shoot fire that doesn't actually work or do anything. And I don't even know why. Like, I don't even fucking know why.
This is in reference, of course, to the flamethrower.
Yeah. Well, the flamethrower, Molotovs are actually super useful. I would not have paid $5 for Molotovs, though.
So you paid $5 for one useful item out of that whole pack?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's basically how it goes.
Nice.
I mean, I paid $5 for an RPG just so I could RPG things.
That's so fun, though. Like,
yeah, that actually worked. So that was a different scenario.
We gotta brush over that because I will not shut up about that if we start going on that path.
Right. So back to modding and staying away from DLC.
If we want to talk about the pay path, I can stick on that because I do feel like this is still like a new thing. It's like how all the major, like YouTube content providers some of them are starting to move over to Vessel and then release their content later on YouTube because it was hard to make money on YouTube to begin with. And now YouTube is like, well, we've never made money and we're sick of you guys, inserting commercials into your videos and making money like without us and cutting us out of that. So now you can't do that anymore. So everybody's just moving away from it. Mm-hmm. It's so hard because this is such a fresh, evolving, like brand new, like platform.
Well, I mean, like really, any of this is a constantly evolving platform, and that's the thing. Like something will dominate, something will be a behemoth, and exist for a number of years until it becomes outdated. Everything eventually, especially with the way technology is constantly changing, like. All of these things get outdated. I'm surprised YouTube has lasted as long as it did. I don't think it would have without Google behind it.
Well, yeah, that was like 2004 when they bought YouTube, though.
Right. But I'm saying like they've really powered that thing. They've embedded it so far into the search engine that represents Google. Like it's just tied into there, so it'll never disappear truly. But in terms of like people trying to provide premium content, we're already starting to see shifts going. Like people use Patreon a lot now. Granted, that's still all content that's being put up on YouTube, but we're seeing a lot more subscriptions. People. The other thing that I'm finding interesting about this whole like flux in how things are working these days is just like. If you can target your audience well enough, you can find the people that are willing to pay you directly for what you're doing, rather than having to worry about ad revenue or some third-party service. Like, if you're good enough at what you're doing, you can get somebody to just turn around and give you the $5 directly and say, all right, in exchange, you're giving them product, but you can get that money from different ways without working on, like I said, worrying about third parties. So, I mean, the modding community, you're not looking at making money directly from what you're creating, but you are looking at getting noticed. Obviously somebody that's just doing like weapons and skin packs and stuff, it's going to take a while. Like you have to develop something really, really awesome, but there are a number of really cool weapon packs for something like Skyrim that are really well known by the community. But if you're willing to sit down and say, all right, I'm willing to just turn around and create something entirely new that's going to be an addition to this game and add multiple hours of gameplay, then you've essentially created a video game. And so people will notice that, and that will get you a job somewhere.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. I mean,
yeah, it's not an absolute guaranteed
but...
thing, but if you create an impressive mod like the kid who went to work for Bungie did, you will absolutely be noticed. And it's not like some big company will just hand you a job; it's someone will fucking take notice, and I think you would eventually be able to work your way up into a position like that.
Yeah.
I think realistically, the best thing that can happen is that you have something that you can now put in your portfolio. And that's really what you're going for. You're trying to build your portfolio of your work. Let me show you what I'm worth, what I can do, and my skills.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you look at the same thing with pretty much any sort of arts job. For instance, with the writing that I do, I've been building a portfolio.
How many years has that taken?
I've spent. I think I started in 2007, and it wasn't until 2012 when I started getting paid for it.
The writing thing?
Yeah. So I mean, it's one of those things where you've really got to just deal with it. It starts off as a hobby. It's because people are willing to pursue those kinds of things because it doesn't feel like a job. You're doing something that you genuinely
enjoy doing.
So I mean, and I think that's part of the passion and why people in the modding community are so closed off to the idea of corporations getting involved in it. It's because it's a passion project, not a money-making project. And the second that it becomes anything more than a passion project is the second that modding in its art form starts to be destroyed. And that would be, I don't know, at least for me, that would be incredibly sad to see, dude. Absolutely, 100% sad to see that destroyed.
It's so funny to hear you say modding and its art form, because half of me 100% is no, I completely understand that, and I remember just watching the evolution of all these different mods, and at the other time it's it's not, it doesn't seem like it's like that anymore. There's still some people out there who have the passion projects, but it seems like it's just dying, and it's moving so much towards monetization.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it is slowly dying, but there are these, and that's part of the reason that I think that it's important for these thriving communities that do exist and aren't dying, to continue to be able to exist without any outside interference, because they need to. It's basically like an organic ecosystem that's been created and thrives on its own, and it shouldn't be touched. It shouldn't be messed with.
I will say that all this mod controversy and stuff got me back on Elder Scrolls, downloading all sorts of crap, trying to get my game to work, because I got a dozen different things running, and just browsing the Nexus. It's the generally speaking, this hasn't, obviously this has affected mods and the way they work and how the future of them, but as far as right now, it hasn't really affected anything. Not all these mods I'm subscribed to didn't get taken down. Not a lot of the modders have come together and said well, this is we like the idea of getting paid or getting donations or whatever, but this is not the proper way to go about it. Mm-hmm. So I think it's as far as the community itself goes, they weren't okay with this and they're happy that it's gone. Mm-hmm. But I do think that there are modders that, and some obviously rightfully so, do want some type of compensation for all the hours they're putting in for all these projects. And I'm not talking about the quick, sword skin. I'm talking about the giant, new quest areas, new NPCs, all new assets. Well, maybe not all new assets, but you get the point I'm getting at. Actual content.
Mm-hmm. Not you can't forget about the people who are spending the hours making all of those, just modifications to make water reflection be beautiful, things like that, because that's super valuable. And that, if you can get that to work, then you now have the ability to figure out how that happened and add that into another game.
Yeah. It's basically all a long learning process. It's a matter of sitting down and finding out it's testing your patience, figuring out how much, especially when you're doing it in a coding atmosphere. It's one of those things where it's just well, how many times can you revise this line and hope that it will get fixed?
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all just a patience test, and that's really what it comes down to. So I mean, there's something to be said about the fact that these people do this for no money. because the work ethic is there if they have the passion for it. In fact, it's there it's not just it's not just like a small fucking like kindling burning inside of people. Some of these people are willing to finish the mods that they're creating. Like that's like a blazing fire. They're clearly very interested in getting this out there. And I mean, that really goes for a good portion of the stuff that's on Nexus Mod Manager. There's granted there's a lot of crap.
There's a lot of crap.
There's a lot of crap, but there is a good portion of it is still I'd say at least 30% of it is very well received mods, and that may not seem like a very hard number or high number, but
you gotta look at the actual numbers. How many thousands of mods are so well received? Like that is the number you need to look at.
Right. Well, here's so let's talk about some other topics that still fall in the whole modding thing. So for a little bit, Steam was saying some of these mods could be installed for free, but they were inserting pop-ups and stuff into the games. How do you guys feel about that?
Fucking stupid.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I mean, go into more detail than it's just fucking.
Well, there was one particular thing I read on Reddit about a mod. It was like it was a tome of spells. There was just some sort of spell casting thing, and every time you casted one of these particular spells, there was a 4% chance, if I remember right, of basically a pop-up saying, "Hey, buy this mod."
Yes, I remember that one.
That is fucking just a big bag of dicks. Like, I understand that, it's cool that this guy was still allowing this mod to be free, and I understand him wanting to drive people to hey, if you really do like this, support me. But that particular method just fucking dicks, just bags. I don't even know how I would properly I don't even know how you would properly go about implementing that. Maybe when you first fire up the game, a thing pops up, but even that would get really fucking annoying. I understand wanting to advertise that, hey, I have these mods in the workshop. People really like me or they like what I do. Come support me. But I don't know how you would go about advertising that without it just being bags of dicks.
Random idea I just had. You know how every time you load between zones, you get those messages?
Yeah.
At the bottom of the screen?
Have ads there.
How hard would it be for the ads to be there?
That's actually not a terrible idea. You gotta load.
You gotta look at stupid shit anyways while you're loading. Why not look at something from content developers?
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, right there. I don't have the time for that though.
I just. I understand. I get what you're saying.
Nobody got time for that, Palmer.
but there's something fun about just going through the top 25 every week and just seeing what changes and seeing what's new. I mean, next I think they've extended it. You can go all the way to top 50 now, and the bottom part of it, 25 through fucking 50, that changes all the time. The top 25 don't necessarily change, but the rest of them do pretty frequently. So I mean, that's all I used to do when I was really into it, was just sit there and browse the top 50 of them and just install them and see how they were. And I don't want that. I would personally be less likely to download an advertised mod because it would piss me off. I wouldn't really care how good it is. I don't want that in my loading screen.
Yeah. What I did when I was looking for them is I typed in, my specs. And all I cared about was making the environment beautiful. And then as far as the things that added quests and stuff like that, I let other people tell me what was good. I don't have all the time in the world. Mm-hmm. I can't spend the time playing through everything and rating it myself. But I wanted to figure out how to make the game as beautiful as I could with the computer that I had. And it was not hard because people are so dedicated to when they find something that's really good, they will make sure that other people know that they think it's good. And that's super important because then as soon as you install it and you like it, you have to go and write something about it. And then I'm filling up Lugs' wall with all my bullshit Steam comments.
There are a lot of those.
Well, the thing is that I'm not scared to admit that I use ad block, but the other thing is that I pay for Vessel. I give money to. I even give money to Linus Tech Tips, like of all things. Like, really? Come on. And like everybody that I see that I think is worth it, I would rather directly give them money than watch ads. Like, if they want to know what I think about something, I've gotten emails from stuff like, oh, like, this might be a little out of your realm, but personally emailing Mr. Saltwater Tank. Like,
he's a fish enthusiast, people. That's what he does in Minnesota.
Yeah, I keep fish tanks. I like corals, hard and soft. Like my wiener. Yeah. No, but like he's a guy who gets paid to go talk about that stuff, and like I've actually talked to him about why I don't do some of the things I do. Like, he was like, "Why have you never bought one of my books?" And I'm like, "Well, I bought one of your products once, and I thought that was great, but honestly, like, I'm not gonna pay you $140 for this shit. Like, I'm not, straight up." Yeah. And he responded to that and was like not mad about it.
Yeah.
Another thing we've brought up, but it's just it's fact. LaserSec and the chat is bringing up the fact that mods keep IPs alive, and in some cases long enough for the company to make a new game, like kind of like Oblivion to Skyrim, or Skyrim to whatever the next Elder Scrolls game is.
Oh shit! I gotta start reading the chat.
And there's a lot of truth to that. Like, it's not just content. Like, it keeps a game relevant. Mm-hmm. Like, Skyrim came out fucking almost 4 years ago, and it's still a very relevant game.
Fuck Skyrim. Look at the mod community for like, somebody's in the process of currently trying to develop a multiplayer mod for Fallout 3. 2. And 2. And
well, actually, I think the one for 2 has already went up, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, there's one that's being developed for Fallout 3 also. Yeah. That's the one that I was referring to. But like, and even Oblivion, there's still mods being created for that. Like, these games, it goes further than that. It makes an experience. So say like somebody wants to go back and play these older games. Some of these mods up-res the graphics, make them look prettier, make them feel a little more modern, which makes these games easier entry points for people who have never played them before.
That's a good point. Especially something like Morrowind, like there are graphical mods that make it look better than Skyrim.
Yeah, dude.
And the thing came out 11 years ago, so.
Yeah, Morrowind has some incredible graphics mods. So it's one of those things where it's just like, you're right. You're 100% right. It definitely extends the longevity of the IPs, but it also it does more than that. I don't know. It makes
yeah. There's content. There's fucking. It just makes it's more exciting to fucking pop in, especially something like a single player game, to pop into it, like, having it for years, pop onto a website one day and just be like, well, how can I fucking completely change this game to look different, or like be a different experience than something I've already run through fucking dozens of times.
So the whole idea, let's go back to the talking about, inserting ads in games. Really, when I heard about that, my mind immediately went to mobile gaming and free applications and the amount of ads that people have to deal with in the free apps on mobile gaming. Boys, do we think that might be the future in terms of like what could be coming for PC gaming as well? In terms of
that's a scary fucking thought.
It is. It absolutely is. But here it is. Here it is for mods of all the things. It's already here for mods. And I mean, to be completely honest, to an extent, it's already existed in AAA games. It's just subtle. You see it on billboards instead of fucking, ad banners thrown in your face like they are on mobile. But I mean, like, how do you guys feel about that? I mean, a lot more mobile games are getting ported over to PC these days. I know I've read a couple different things with certain app developers that have said that people that haven't begun porting their stuff over to PC because there's no need for them to. They make more money off ad revenue in mobile apps. So I mean, like, do we think that's something that's eventually going to start happening in consoles? And I mean, it's already happening on consoles. You boot up the Xbox One, and a whole dashboard is nothing but ads.
Even the 360, like, when it had the update, it just became a fucking billboard.
Ad central. So I mean, like, it's something that I think people are just getting exposed to more and more often. And takes us to a dark place. So what do you guys think? How soon do you think that's around the corner? Because it's inevitable. It's going to be.
I don't know if it's going to be. I think it'll turn into something like that, but I don't think it'll be exactly the way mobile gaming went. I just don't. PC gamers will just fucking leave. They'll quit.
They'll actually just go outside and start doing productive things with their lives.
Obviously, it's going to happen to some degree, obviously, eventually, but I just don't see it happening the same pace, the same way that it did with mobile gaming, which was fucking just rape and pillage, pretty much. I think it'll be a much slower process on PC.
Yeah.
If people can put ads into browsers and videos, and people can, within 18 minutes, figure out how to make an add-on for Firefox and Google Chrome that'll completely negate them. That shit'll happen for computer games. Like, dude, PC gamers, like,
will it though? Because
the worst thing that'll happen is that we'll start our own servers again.
But
like, come on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's really the worst thing that's going to happen.
Will it though? Because think about all the EULAs that are attached to gaming these days, especially AAA titles. I mean, it's very easy for them to write something into that license agreement that says, you cannot effectively develop ad blocker. We can ban you. That is a bannable offense. Like, and I'm sure it's already been implemented to some extent. Like you can't do anything to change the Xbox dashboard. You can't do anything to modify your Xbox console whatsoever. You can do it on PC still, but PC is the only ecosystem that it exists in anymore. You can't do that
Apple
with
TV
anything.
runs Xbox Media Center.
Yeah, see, like I don't know, man. Like it literally is the only platform that's left where users still have some sort of choice as to what they can see and not see. You do that on PS4 or you do that on Xbox, and you're violating license agreements, and they can revoke your account. And I think it's just a matter of time, especially since PC is only growing. Like, the PC market is growing. It's causing more devs to... Like, think about last console generation. The PC market was dead, dude. Everybody kept saying PC gaming was dying. Everybody kept saying, all the ports were horrible because there was no money to be made. And now, all of a sudden, developers are realizing that there's still a thriving PC ecosystem, that it's expanding, that because of the fact that it's cheaper and easier than it has ever been to turn around and build a desktop, people are just doing it that way because it's something that can constantly be upgraded. And I don't know, there's a sense of pride that comes with building it yourself. So I mean, I think devs are noticing this, and I think they've got to figure out a way to make as much money as they were on consoles on PC. And I think it's just a matter of time before that stuff starts happening in EU.
I mean, it already, like chat brought up, it already does just agree. Like, obviously, we've covered free-to-play fucking games and that whole genre on this cast, and there's most of those games, microtransactions, they nickel and dime you for everything. They're progressive paywalls, shit like that. And Steam does have shitty mobile ports, like that really fucking awful Deus Ex game. But like,
have you guys ever gone?
Anything new? Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Have you guys ever gone onto Steam and looked at how much money you have spent on every game?
Yeah, it's pretty depressing.
Because I have, and let me tell you, as much as you're depressed, I am depressed.
There's been a good portion that I've picked up on sales though, or in bundles. So I don't think it would be as bad as I think it is in my head. But
I could have bought a car. I'm gonna go ahead and state that.
Probably.
I could have bought a car,
like a brand new
halfway decent car, one that worked. I could have had.
Yeah, it's that bad. It really is. Like, gotta have the hats, man. I need the hats.
Yeah.
Just the amount of money the three of us have spent on Dota sets and bullshit and keys.
Jesus, I don't even want to think about that, dude. But anyways, back to the whole free-to-play thing, Tim. What were you saying?
Well, we were just talking about, like we all spent a lot of money in Dota. That's a fucking fantastic game. It has a great free-to-play model. It's all cosmetic. We just want to dress our characters up to be the prettiest princess, and goddamn it, that's all right as an American.
Yeah.
And other than Crystal Maiden, how much money have I spent on that game the last 9 months?
Well, you dropped out. I dropped out of Dota
playing.
Too. I'm back in on Dota lately, but yeah, Corbin dropped out of Dota months ago.
I got mad, like.
It's Dota. It happens.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need a break. Sometimes you just need a break from that game, or you're gonna kill somebody. That's the way it works.
Yeah. That's words to live by, Lloyd.
Guy, international hit Corbin, and you'll be back in. You'll be back in.
No, as soon as like all of a sudden like you guys have 4 people, like I'll be your 5th the second that happens because I can't say no to you guys because you're giant cunts. Like,
well,
That's a fair assessment.
like as soon as
I don't think
I
either
see,
of us can dispute that.
like, Isaac and Nylok and you guys, like all of a sudden I'm just gonna be like, fucking damn it, okay, and I'll quit whatever I'm playing or I'll quit doing whatever I'm working on and just be in there because what do you know about Excel 2013 Game of the Year edition?
Oh, it's the best. It's the best game on Steam.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We all just talk so much shit to each other in that game.
I have
You really just do
987
need
hours
to
on
walk away from it for a while.
I woke up today, and within 2 minutes of waking up, I was in a Dodo queue hearing Isaac call me a faggot because I just woke up. These are the group of people I surround myself with and play video games with, and I'm okay with it. It's fine. But that's just Dota, man. You just wake up, you get called a faggot, and you queue.
Yeah, that is pretty much
That's how
the
my
Dota
day
community.
went, and I watched Baltimore burn. It was, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, eventually it becomes a term of endearment.
It's like a crucible, a fucking trial by fire. You just fucking got to get through it, and then you're 2,000 hours into the game, and you just want to kill yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just waiting for your hair to gray, because where there was
that's gonna
fire,
happen.
there will be smoke.
Yeah. So, what else we got on this whole modding thing? We've been talking about it for 40 minutes. Can we move on to something else, or are we still...
We can move on and then come back when we think of it.
Oh boy.
That's not how to do.
Yeah, we covered everything basically. Just none of us are really fans of it. It's going to come back, but I really hope it comes back in a. It has to come back in a better light, otherwise the community will just shit all over again. Especially now that they've seen, like, hey, we got rid of this. If Valve does something like implements another shitty system and brings it in, fucking everyone will just go in an uproar, and the Reddits will go crazy, and it'll go away again. Like Valve has to do this properly. Yeah. They have to make sure that the modders get their fair share. Obviously, they have to get a cut. The whatever game, like Bethesda in Skyrim's instance, has to get a cut. But it has to be done properly, and it fucking $100 for HD horse testicles is something that does not need to be up on the workshop, which absolutely was.
I'd pay $100 for HD
That's
horse
the
testicles.
best. You're not helping. They need better quality control. They need to make sure that assets aren't stolen from other mods. Like, there's just so much shit they need to do, but they have to fucking do it if they want this to work right. Otherwise, it's just gonna fucking fail again.
Yeah.
That's the end of it.
Bottom line, yeah, absolutely.
How about speaking of mods, Palmer? I know you're a fan of Brutal Doom, as am I. I don't know if you're into that, Corbin, but Brutal Doom version 20 came out recently.
Oh, did it?
Yes,
Dude, honestly, I rely on you guys to let me know what's gonna actually get played for an extended period of time, because games that will sink hours and hours into, I have no problem paying for it. But if it's one of the games that I think you guys are going to be flashing the pan about, I'm not going to spend money on it.
There's a lot of those.
Yeah. No, I've been there. I've dropped money on that shit, and I've learned my lesson.
Yeah.
If you got I can tell based on how you guys first start talking about it whether I'm going to get it or not. It's not hard because your excitement, it does not equal how good you think the game is going to be.
Yeah, that's true.
That is something different.
Yeah.
And I've learned that over a couple of years now of what you truly think the game is going to be, completely devoid of how excited you are about its potential.
Right. Yeah, I mean, let's take the Cat Lady, for instance, here. Was not excited about that game. Did not know what that was. Found it, started playing it, absolutely in love with it. Well, 10 out of 10, best game 2012.
I love the fact that this game I've known about for years that no one else knew about. You just one day discovered, and you've been marithoning on
Oh,
Twitch.
God, I can't. It's so good, dude. Just Domestic Dispute Simulator 2012. That's what that game is. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. Eventually, you just get into an argument with somebody turns out to be crazy, and you kill them. That's what happens every chapter in that game, and it's flawless. So yeah, what the fuck were we even talking about before the
Brutal Doom.
Brutal Doom. Back to Brutal Doom. Yeah. Yeah,
I don't think that game could get any gorier, and then it does. It's fantastic.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's great. Really, it's getting creative. Really creative the way they are in dismembering demons. in the
They're
original
giving
Doom
Killing
game.
Floor a run for their money.
Yeah, they really are. Like actually, dude, if somebody bothered to create some sort of like Killing Floor-esque multiplayer mod that used Brutal Doom, dude, I'd be all over it. I'd be 100%. I could run that shit on any. You could run it on anything. You could play it on a mobile. Fuck Hearthstone, dude. A Brutal Doom multiplayer for
You
life.
play Brutal Doom on like the poster, man. Like,
Yeah.
doesn't need much.
Yeah.
The floor on that is really low.
Yeah. But yeah, it's cool. I'm glad to see that's still supported. I haven't tried it since I don't know. It's from version 20 now. I don't know what the last
I've
version
installed
was.
that, and I haven't had that on my computer in at least a year or so. So I don't even know what version
What kind of stuff did they implement into this? What is there? Just like
just
new
more
hitboxes for dismemberment? Is that what it is?
I think it's just more stuff, more gore, more bullshit.
Okay, all right, yeah. I mean, if you haven't had a chance to check out Brutal Doom, do yourself a favor. If you own Doom on Steam, install it. It's a free mod. Basically, you can just kind of like dismember demons and kick their heads down hallways and stomp on their corpses until they turn into bloody pulps. And it's all done with that, charm, that real fucking like pixelated charm that Doom
The
has.
stomp them in the nuts, where if you keep mashing the button, you can just continue stomping them in the nuts.
Yeah, you can pretty much do that. Pretty much. What else we have?
We can bring up the fact that Silent Hill got canceled.
Oh God! All right.
And I'm currently bringing up the text from our normal third co-host. He wants us to mention that he's going to murder everyone involved with the cancellation of Silent Hill, and then he leaves it off with a K thanks. So
Thanks, bye.
Yeah, that talk about what PT was awesome, and like there was never a part of me that honestly thought, okay, Silent Hills is going to be like PT, but it served as a concept for what those minds, while collaborating, were capable of doing, and it was fucked, and I loved every second of it. It was great. I mean, just like the fact that you wandered down that same hallway over and over again and different shit happened. The bathroom shit alone was the fucking like fetus inside the fucking sink that was just like cooing at you, dude. Like that shit was terrifying. Fucking fucked, dude. Like, and I expected, like I said, I wasn't expecting something like that to be in the actual Silent Hills game, but I expected that kind of atmosphere to be there, and as a result, I was so excited for this game. And it has nothing to do with my love for Kojima. Like, I honestly, like, I'm here, alright, I'm about to catch a lot of flack. I don't think Kojima's done anything good since Metal Gear Solid 2. The rest of his stuff has been good. Don't get me wrong, but it hasn't been on the level of when he was doing Zone of Enders and the original Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Solid 2. Those games were fucking brilliance. They weren't video games; they were works of art. Metal Gear Solid 3 was really good. Peace Walker on the fucking
PlayStation 3.
PSP. Was
PSP?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was.
That was the closest that he has come to emulating that at least personally. I don't know. I really didn't like MGS4. I haven't played the new glorified demo yet. I'm saving that for when MGS5 comes out.
Oh my gosh, you haven't?
No, I haven't.
Okay,
I'm saving it. I'm saving it because I want to play that and then play MGS5.
Yeah, Corbin, we brought up on the cast.
Best year ever because fucking Metal Gear Solid. But okay, no. So yeah, no. Metal Gear Solid 4, fucking Moo Cow bullshit.
Yeah, dude, fuck.
Moo Cow bullshit. Like, no, get that demo, man.
I have it. No, I have it. I have it on PC and Xbox One, mind you. But I haven't gotten around to playing it because I'm saving it specifically to play before 5 comes out, and it's right around the corner. It's only a few months away. It's really only a few months away. I'm just sitting on it at this point. I don't want it. I have too much cat lady to play.
Xbox controller on PC, like with my hypergraphics at 2.5K or 2K, whatever the fuck you call my resolution.
Yeah.
And holy shit, it is fucking incredible. Like that game is beautiful. And then you got Raiden just coming out and being like, "Oh no, fuck my sword. I'm gonna use a gun." And like, of course, you're doing the exact same thing over again. But like, that demo like solidified in my mind that they are taking the time needed to make this what it's supposed to be.
Okay, but here, I've never had qualms with the gameplay of Metal Gear Solid. I've had qualms with the story.
Yeah.
So a demo can't. And I've seen the intro videos. I think they've got some really interesting characters presented in the demo. I appreciate no spoiler. It's been out for a while, so I mean, fuck me if something gets spoiled. But the CD or the cassette player kid,
cassettes.
the one,
it's the cassettes.
The cassette player kid, like he's fascinating to me. Like there are some characters that are.
Do you not remember him?
Huh? What?
Do you not remember who he is?
No, I don't. That's the thing, though. The fucking Metal Gear Solid story is so convoluted. I'm gonna have to go back and read an entire fucking Wikipedia article about every one of these goddamn games because I have no idea what happened in 3 or 4. You can try to ask me, and all I can tell you about 4 is that he's old and there were a lot of cutscenes. There was a lot of desert combat too. That's all I can really tell you about 4, man. Like, I just don't remember the stories, dude. They're so full of themselves and they're so all over the place that it's really hard to keep track of some of these characters. And that's part of the reason that I love 1 and 2 so much, because those stories, they weren't straightforward in any sense of the word. They were still confusing as fuck. Nothing Kojima's ever done has ever been straightforward. But they were they had some of the best characters. Like the boss fight with Mantis alone was a fuck you experience, dude.
Yeah.
Like absolute fuck you experience. You had and those were the back in the days when internet wasn't all over the place. I had to go to school and fucking ask somebody how to beat that guy.
No, you would read like a 282 kilobyte like text file.
That would take you like 20 minutes to download because it was 56K back then.
2088 if you were poor.
Yeah, exactly. But
no, like this is like I need to hook up my capture card and just like let me explain to you like how I didn't have this type of internet when I was a kid, and this is why in Resident Evil 2 like I can do a speed run.
Yeah, because
it's just
as
like
a kid, we knew
I
those
didn't
games.
have this shit available to me. I grew up in Minnesota, and like I'm all like kind of like I guess you can call me a farm kid or whatever. Like I beat without doing any wall fucking glitches or anything like that, like Ocarina of Time in 5 hours and 46 minutes, and I have it on a VHS tape.
Really?
Yes.
I would actually like to see that.
I kind of would. You should absolutely upload that to YouTube.
Just to insult you.
God, it's Lugs. Do you remember when I was showing you like all the shit that I got out of my mom's house?
Yes, I remember the tour of
yeah, that tape is in that. I know exactly where it is. So
I think that relic needs to be brought up on this cast.
Beat Ocarina of Time in 5 hours and 46 minutes without using a single glitch.
One day we should just do a Let's Watch. Like you upload that shit to YouTube and then all of us just tune in
sit
and
around
watch
and
it.
watch it.
No, fuck that. I would rather do it live. No,
can you still do it? No, I want to see little Kerbin do it.
Game.
I want to see a little Kerbin do it, please. Little Kerbin?
Well, it's not. No, because it's recorded straight from the fucking TV. You can't see our faces.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's no point.
I expect.
For some reason, I had this vision in my head of like a camera on you.
Yeah, just like on a tripod or tripod. Just recording you with the TV.
No, it's because it was one of those Nintendo Power bullshit things. Like, you know how they were like, if you do some incredible bullshit in Smash Brothers, then or Super Smash Brothers, then we'll unlock Sonic for you, or something like that. And people did it and sent in the VHS tapes, and they were like, no, that was an April Fool's thing. Oh god, what did we do? And people got so mad.
Yeah, well, people didn't understand
this
April
is
Fool's
ultra throwback right now. We're completely off topic, but we can do that on an episode if you want. Like, I have it on my Wii, so.
Oh, you can just hook up a capture card to it?
Yeah, I have a capture card. Like, honestly, I think that it would take me a total of if I played
every time he fucks up, we're just gonna call him a shitlord over and over again.
No, I think that if
it'll be like Dota, except
for
while watching
Zelda.
Zelda.
But I could probably do it in under 7 or 8. Probably closer to 8. It's been a
That's
while.
sounding
I remember that we spent
pretty
like
impressive. Get your shit
an
together. 5
entire
hours or
summer
under.
doing that. We went through so many fucking tapes. Like, you know when you record over a VHS tape to the point where like it doesn't record well anymore?
It's just grainy and
Yeah,
shitty
it's
and
awful.
Yeah.
looks like Baltimore
God.
right now.
Yeah. It was like that, but dude, we got that speed run down, and I remember like slumber parties showing that off, trying to think that you're hot shit, and then like you look back on that and you're like, oh god, what did I do with my life? Like I could have been, you know, talking to a girl and maybe she would have held my hand.
Yeah, back in those.
Yeah, like
what?
back in the way day.
What the fuck were we even talking about before we started talking about Corbin and VHS
Jose and his
tapes?
death threats for Silent Hill.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
we were back
That
on
was
He's in
on
that.
chat, by the way.
Kojima.
He's in chat and he's saying hi.
Oh, hey,
Wait,
Jose,
what was it
how
that
you
he had
doing,
to
buddy?
do that I'm now
Thanks
here
for
instead?
showing up today, ass.
He was saving some kids from a tree.
Yeah.
He does that.
Oh,
It's a good Samaritan.
yeah.
Not at all.
But yeah, Silent Hill's incredibly depressing. I have to say, I love Guillermo del Toro's fucking statement that he made that it breaks his greasy little heart. I just wanted to give him a greasy little high five and just fucking let him know that I love him. Because that's basically where I'm at with it. What I want to know, dude, somewhere in there has got to be a compelling story about what the fuck is happening with Kojima and Konami.
I don't know what they're doing, but it's not smart business. At all.
Not at all. Like, they're really shooting themselves in the foot. And I think part of it might have to do with the fact, because like Kojima's been saying for years that he doesn't want to do any more Metal Gear, but I think Konami just keeps throwing money at him. So he's like, all right, like that's fine, I'll do it. And I think part of it might just be because he's trying to walk away from doing Metal Gear and doesn't want to do this anymore. And Konami may not necessarily want to support that, considering how much Metal Gear makes for them.
Yeah, there's money.
Yeah, exactly. So, but like, I feel like it's still shooting themselves in the foot because Kojima has enough name and tout like by himself these days that like if he just announced a new IP, which so many people want him to do, and his name was attached to it, it would be. I still think it would be very successful. Not quite as good as the sales of a Metal Gear game, but I mean, it would be an incredibly successful video game just based on the fact that it's got Kojima's name attached to it.
Yeah, it's the fact that his name's.
I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like I'm gonna buy it. I hope it's good. Like I'm not gonna tell you I'm not gonna buy it because I clearly will.
Yeah. So I don't understand what's going on back there behind the scenes, but I feel like it's because he's trying to walk away from it, and Konami will not let him. So he's got to fly the nest or fly the coop, you know, just fucking he's got to say everybody just needs to wave bye-bye to him and let him do his own thing and be a crazy asshole designing crazy asshole games, because that's what Kojima's good at doing.
very much so.
Who's the English voice actor for Snake?
David Hayter it was, and now it's the guy from 24.
I'm trying to remember this because this was now years ago, but like back for 4 when like
That was David
he's
Hayter.
like I literally have to like hold a shot of whiskey in my mouth and spit it out just so I can try to do that scratchy voice. I'm not gonna ever do this again, and then he does.
No, he didn't. But it wasn't because he didn't want to. He didn't know. He was replaced by Kiefer Sutherland.
That's what happened. Okay,
Yeah.
because I never actually understood exactly what happened. I just remember watching the interview where he's like, I'm not going to do this again. And then, like, reading the shit about where they're like, oh, no, it's going to be
pissed. He was, well, you know, as pissed as you can be on social media while maintaining good professional graces. But you could tell he was pretty upset by that. At least that it caught him completely off guard.
All right. Because I got a little bit removed from that because, like, I'm not in this news cycle that you guys are in as, like, actual professional, whatever the hell you are.
Ain't nothing professional about us.
Wordsmiths.
We're
Wordsmiths. Peter
Semi-ignorant.
Dinklage business cards.
Yeah, seriously.
Dinklage.
But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens, what comes out of all of this. I'm really upset that that the series, well, that this new iteration of this game is supposed to be canceled. I was never completely 100% on board with Norman Reedus being a part of the game, but Guillermo del Toro and Kojima doing it had me just...
That, yeah. No, I get what you're saying with that 100%.
You know, like, those two together are what sold me, and then the atmosphere and the presentation of the game. So, I don't know. I really hope somewhere down the road something comes out of it. I hope it's not completely gone, but it seems like it is pretty much at this point. It's been pretty much confirmed that it's 100% canceled, but
Yeah,
I can hope it'll
and it's not
get
just one person citing it; like it's multiple
Yeah.
sources coming out.
Yeah, so I can still hope against hope. And
Jeff refuses to grab me some ice. Hold on a second, I'll be right back.
Okay. All right.
Thanks for the update, Corbin.
Professional hosting going on with this
Right?
guy over here. This is what we get. Jose, what have you done?
This is gonna be the Corbin cast from now on.
Corbin.
We're not even gonna be on it; it's just gonna be Corbin.
Yeah, just 100% Corbin.
Let's do one more bit of news before we pop off. We've been going for a bit now. Overlord, the Overlord games are coming back, which I'm very happy with. But it's been a while. I think the second one came out in 2009. I want to say, and the first and second game were very similar. But this one looks more to be like action RPG oriented, or at least the look it has anyway. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that. It could be really cool. It could also kind of fall flat. I guess I'm just gonna have to wait around and see until I see some gameplay footage or the like. But I don't know. I got really excited that there's a new Overlord game coming out, and then I saw that it looks very different than the first two games, not just graphically, but the way the game plays. And I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah, it does look like they're taking it in a more ARPG.
But I love the Overlord games. Like, fuck, those games are just stupid fun.
It was one of the only games that Codemasters has ever created that I've sort of liked.
Sort of liked. That's a fucking ringing endorsement.
I've never been a fan of Codemasters as a developer, but the Overlord game was...
They put out some good games.
It was stupid fun.
They put out a lot of stuff. Yeah, exactly. You throw goblins at sheep, and they eat the fucking sheep.
Yeah.
You just run around as your fucking Overlord. You're like you're basically Sauron walking around with dumb goblins, throwing them at people and villagers and sheep. It's fucking fantastic. I really hope that Codemasters keeps that, like, you know, that essence in the game. I'm not completely opposed to it taking a more RPG-looking route, but I just really hope they keep the core of what made that game so much stupid fun there.
Yeah, it's never been a series, like I said, that's near and dear to my heart. I put maybe a few hours into the first one. I don't know. Did they release the second one? I haven't. If they did,
they released the first one. They released an expansion for the first one, and they released a second one.
Yeah, so I've only played the first one.
Yeah, I've only played the second one for a couple hours because my disc. That was the whole thing. My disc was fucked, and then my 360 broke at the time, and I've had it forever and never went back to it. But I played the shit out of the first one. I really liked the first one, and I'm a bit worried, honestly. But I'm gonna live in hope, I guess, which is fucking just stupid to do in PC gaming nowadays. But you know, fuck it, why not? Just fuck the police.
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll see what comes out of it. I'll have to follow up with it a little more.
It's supposed to come out later this year, so hopefully we'll be seeing some more substantial gameplay footage in the coming months.
All right. Well, on that note, do we have anything else?
I mean, there's a lot more to bitch about.
There is.
There's always something to bitch about, though.
I don't know. You haven't messed around with Shadowrun yet, have you?
Nope, haven't had a chance to do
we'll
that.
Do that.
I've actually got to get on that soon because I've got to have that review up.
It's fun, but we'll get into that on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that when it's on Steam sale. Fuck you guys.
Nah, we're good. I'm calling it.
All right,
we done good. Corbin, I want to say you did very good for a first cast.
Oh, I did a good job.
You did a good job, Corbin.
Maybe next time.
Thank you very much.
Maybe next time I'll actually put your legitimate social media information underneath there.
I don't have social media information.
I kind of love the way it's at right now. All the exclamation points.
But yeah, thanks for tuning in. This has been the 16th episode of the DMM Livecast. We have Tim over there on the left, as per usual. You can follow him at twitch.tv/Logan703 and on Twitter at Logan703. You've got me. You can follow me at twitch.tv/Sturmsworth and at Sturmsworth. And then you've got Kerbin down at the bottom. Let us know if you liked him. If you didn't like him, we'll never have him on again. If you really didn't like him, we'll make him disappear.
No, they'll do something worse than that.
Yeah,
and then they'll post
worse.
a video about it.
Oh god, it'll be great.
So you got Lugs up at your left, and you got Plammer up at your right.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I don't know what the hell they were talking about. What their
These
names
are the names Kerbin knows us as.
I named you. You respect those names.
No, if anything, the alcohol named us. The alcohol is what named us.
People call you those names and know you as nothing else.
That's true. That's true.
I named you.
We should also point out we all did meet on a horribly intoxicated Dota.
Oh god, those back in the early days. Back in the early days.
Drunk and Ian Palmer, maybe
him playing puck and us just being assholes.
Puck.
Oh god, yeah. Like, how did I even do that when I was so blackout drunk?
I don't know.
Not well, I remember.
I don't know.
I think it was just because we were at a low grade
has
bracket.
gone down significantly.
I'm a beautiful butterfly. I just remember saying that a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We will be back on Wednesday. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a fourth person added. Maybe it'll just be the three of us with Jose playing catch up and letting Liz, so he can regale us with his stories of how he saved children from trees.
Tales and of woe.
Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. Feel free to give Dark Mushroom Media a follow at Dark Mushroom on Twitter, or Dark_Mushroom on Twitter.
There you go.
And hopefully we'll see you guys at 10 p.m. on Wednesday. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.